Hello, my darlings. Welcome back to our cozy corner. Pour yourself a lovely cup of tea, or perhaps something a little stronger, and settle in. Today's story is an absolute masterclass in dealing with the absolute worst kind of betrayal. Imagine dedicating 20 years of your life to playing the virtuous widow, caring for a paralyzed mother-in-law and a bratty brother-in-law, only to discover your dead husband actually faked his own demise just to elope with his mistress and dodge his responsibilities. Unfathomable cheek, isn't it? But, oh, when our heroine gets a second chance and wakes up before the grand betrayal, she doesn't just get mad, she gets completely ruthlessly even. Let's dive into the three most exquisite moments of this brilliant tale. Misty rain in Jiangnan, stone bridges like a painting. I stood still at the bridgehead, looking at my deceased husband, for whom I'd been a widow for 20 years, now with a glowing red face buying a jeweled hairpin for the woman beside him. Master treats his wife so well, buying this kingfisher feathered hairpin just like that. The vendor praised with a smile. Shen laughed gently. As long as my wife likes it. His left hand held that woman's, his right hand held a well-dressed and well-fed young man's, a family of 3, harmonious and happy, while I, with a full head of white hair, wearing coarse hemp clothes covered in patches, still holding the copper coins I'd saved up to buy medicine for his paralyzed mother. 20 years for his Shen family. I exhausted my family fortune and drained my heart's blood, serving my moody mother-in-law, raising my incorrigibly unruly brother-in-law. I thought this was my duty as a woman of the Shen family, my accountability to my deceased husband. Turns out this was just a complete and utter scam. He didn't die at the hands of horse bandits. He simply didn't want to support the family, didn't want to fulfill his filial duties, just wanted to fly away with his beloved woman, leaving all the suffering to me. Shen looked up and saw me. His smile froze on his face. What flashed in his eyes wasn't guilt, but terror and disgust. That young man seemed to sense something and shoved me hard. Where'd this crazy hag come from? Get out of the way! My body was frail and I fell backward. The moment the icy river water submerged me, I saw Shen tightly covering that woman's eyes, protectively taking the child with her as they turned and left. He didn't even glance at me once. If there is a next life, whoever wants this virtuous Chase Memorial Arch can have it. Madam, wake up. The master sent word that he is busy with official duties tonight and will stay in the study, not returning to the main courtyard. The maidservant, Chuyun's voice came cautiously. I suddenly opened my eyes. Before me were red candles and silk curtains. The person in the mirror had hair like a waterfall and delicate skin, not that old woman whose life had been drained to the last drop, struggling to make ends meet. I had returned to the first year of our marriage. At this time, Shen hadn't died yet. I touched my cold heart, and a self-mocking sneer curled at the corner of my mouth. Busy with official duties in my past life, I believed it and felt sorry for how difficult his career path was, especially preparing ginseng soup to bring to the study. Because I was blocked outside the door by servants, I truly thought he was busy. Thinking about it now, how was that being busy with official duties? Clearly he was busy slipping away undercover. Madam, what is wrong? Are you feeling unwell somewhere? Seeing my expression was off, Chuyun hurriedly asked. I am fine. I sat up, my eyes frighteningly clear. Since the master is busy, we won't send the ginseng soup. Chuyun, prepare the carriage. I am going to Tingyu Pavilion. Tingyu Pavilion was a famous, elegant residence in the capital, and also the place where Shen hid that confidante of his. In my past life, I only found out after I died. In this life, I need to go eavesdrop, putting on my veiled hat. I don't want to alert anyone. The back alley of Tingyu Pavilion is secluded. Relying on the few days of martial arts I practiced with my brothers in childhood, I climbed over the courtyard wall next door, The private room that Shen Mo reserved has its window half open. There is no romantic scene as I imagined, but instead I hear scheming voices that chill me to the bone. Mo Lang, when can you take me away? I can't stand staying in this capital city for even one more day. I want to go to Jiangyan. The woman's voice is soft and delicate, tinged with grievance. Your wife is of noble birth. If I enter your household, she will surely torment me to death. It is Lu Qingrui, a concubine born daughter of a 7th-rank minor official, who is skilled at playing the weak right after. Shen Mo's voice rings out, carrying a tenderness I've never heard before, and viciousness. Ruya, don't worry. In 3 more months, once I trick my mother into handing over that ancestral fortune and transfer and liquidate Yun Heng's dowry shops, we'll leave. By then, I'll stage an encounter with bandits. Whether I am dead or missing, given Yun Heng's stubborn devotion, she'll definitely keep her widowhood for the sake of reputation, and take care of my paralyzed mother and young brother for me. That woman values promises above all, and cares about her reputation. As long as I am dead, she'll be trapped in the Shen family working like a slave for the rest of her life. Lu Qingrui giggled. Mo Lang, what a brilliant scheme. If Yun Heng knew the truth, she'd probably be so angry she'd cough up blood. That is because she is stupid. Shen Mo snorted coldly. Who told her general brother to always outshine me at court? I am going to make his sister keep her chastity as a living widow for the Shen family her entire life. Outside the window, I clenched my palms tightly, nails digging into flesh, yet felt no pain. So that is how it is. Not just because of love, but because of greed, because of jealousy, because he wanted a free, long-term laborer, want me to work like a slave. Shen Mo, in this lifetime, let me help you act out this horse bandit charade first. Upon returning to the residence, I didn't cry or make a scene. Crying and making scenes are the most useless things. They only alert the enemy. I am, just as Shen Mo said, from the loyal and brave Marquis Manor. My elder brother is the general guarding the border. Back then, I was blind and insisted on marrying down to the seemingly gentle and refined Shen Mo. My brother couldn't dissuade me and gave me a lavish dowry procession stretching 10 li. This dowry is the juicy prize in Shen Mo's eyes. Chu Yun, I summoned my trusted maid and lowered my voice. Tomorrow go call all the stewards here. Tell them I want to audit the accounts. Also send a letter to my brother, saying I am homesick and want to go to the northern lands to see the snow. Though Chu Yun didn't understand, seeing my grave expression, she immediately went to handle it. Just as I finished dealing with these matters, a commotion came from outside the door. I won't eat it. What kind of garbage food is this? There is not even any meat. I want sister-in-law to feed me. A 5 or 6-year-old child rushed into my courtyard. It was Shen Mo's younger brother, Shen Zhao. He was holding a colorful large lizard in his hand, a rare treasure tributed from the western regions. I don't know who got it for him. In my past life, I wouldn't allow him to lose his ambition to play things, so I confiscated this lizard. He came to hate me for it, putting laxatives in my tea and cutting up my favorite clothes. Yet, I still had to, for the sake of the so-called eldest sister-in-law, is like a mother, couldn't bear to punish him, and could only patiently teach him. And the result, when he pushed me off the bridge, what he shouted was, "Crazy woman." Right now, seeing that I was ignoring him, Shen Zhao threw the lizard at me and said viciously, "Bad woman, if you won't serve me my meal, I'll have it bite you." Although the lizard wasn't poisonous, its claws and teeth were sharp. If it scratched my face, it would definitely leave a scar. If it were before, I would have dodged in a panic, then earnestly tried to reason with him. But now, I shifted to the side to avoid it, and the lizard fell to the ground, dazed from the fall. Not only was I not angry, I even smiled warmly. Does Zhao like this lizard? Shen Zhao froze for a moment, clearly not expecting me not to scold him. "None of your business. Since you like them, then keep a few more." I turned my head to order the servants. "Go buy a few more of these rare little pets for the young master, and also those fighting chickens and crickets. As long as the young master likes them, buy them all, madam." The servant was shocked. "The master said he wants the young master to study. Studying is hard work, and Zhao is still young. It is the age for playing around." I walked over and straightened Shen Zhao's collar, my eyes full of doting affection. "If anyone dares to force you to study in the future, just tell sister-in-law, and sister-in-law will stand up for you." Shen Zhao's eyes lit up immediately. "Really? Of course it is true." Watching Shen Zhao's back as he ran off happily hugging the lizard, my eyes turned ice cold. Didn't Shen Mo want me to take care of his little brother Shaw? I'll take care of him and turn him into the capital's #1 wastrel, a piece of trash who only knows how to eat, drink, whore, and gamble. This is where I knew our heroine, Yun Heng, was an absolute genius. In her past life, she exhausted herself trying to discipline her husband's ghastly little brother, Shen Zhao, only to be hated for it. This time, she uses weaponized indulgence. When the brat throws a lizard at her, she doesn't scold him. She strokes his ego, buys him more toys, and actively encourages him to skip studying. It's a chillingly brilliant strategy. Society always expects women to be the strict, long-suffering moral anchors of a family. Yun Heng simply drops the rope. She gives her awful husband exactly what he asked for. She takes care of the boy by lovingly molding him into an absolute liability. It's a deliciously wicked reminder that sometimes letting toxic people have exactly what they want is the best revenge. Consider this the gift I am giving to Shen Mon's future. A few days later, it was time for the annual flower viewing banquet. This banquet was hosted by Imperial Consort, who was also my close friend from my maiden days, Su Yao, when Shen Mo learned I was going to attend the banquet. He surprisingly returned to the estate early for once. He was holding a box of not-so-fresh pastries in his hand, looking affectionate. "Ah Heng, these are the osmanthus cakes you love to eat. I specially made a detour to buy them." I glanced at the oil paper packaging that had long been soaked through with grease, and my stomach churned. That was something casually bought from a street stall. He has always been stingy with me, all to save money to buy gold hairpins for Lu Qingrui. "How thoughtful of you, husband." I had Chuyun take it and casually set it aside. "What brings you here today, husband?" Shen Mo rubbed his hands together, seeming to have difficulty speaking. "Ah Heng, you know I've worked at the Hanlin Academy for many years without any promotion. Today's flower viewing banquet will be attended by many high officials and nobility. I want to bring someone along to see the world." I raised an eyebrow. "Oh, who does husband want to bring?" It is a distant cousin of one of my colleagues named Lu Qingrui." Shen Mo watched my expression carefully. "She just arrived in the capital and doesn't know anyone. I was thinking, since you've always been magnanimous, could you take her to meet some people? Bring his mistress to the Imperial Consort's flower viewing banquet. To pave the way for Lu Qingrui, Shen Mo truly has no shame left. He probably wants Lu Qingrui to use this opportunity to network with the powerful, either to prepare for their future life together after they elope, or simply to push her onto some nobleman as a concubine in exchange for benefits. No, given his possessiveness over Lu Qingrui, he likely wants her to whitewash her identity under the name of talented woman. If I refuse, I'll be jealous. If I agree, I'll be inviting a wolf into my home. Since she is a colleague's cousin, she is a guest. I smiled graciously and appropriately. Since husband has asked, how could I refuse? Let her come. Shen Mo was overjoyed. "Ah Heng, you are truly wonderful. I knew you were the most understanding," watching his back as he hurried off to share the good news with Lu Qingrui. I picked up that piece of osmanthus cake and threw it into the spittoon. Take her along. That would be a true battlefield. The people there devour others without spitting out the bones, especially the most rule-conscious imperial concubine Su Yao. Since Lu Qingrui wanted to see the world, I'd let her get a good look at what worlds apart really means. At the banquet, fragrant clothes and elegant hair ornaments filled the air. Lu Qingrui had clearly dressed up carefully, wearing a plain white gown with a golden hairpin stuck in her hair. That didn't match her status. It was something Shen had just bought her. She thought this was elegant and refined, not realizing that in the eyes of the hall full of noblewomen in brocade and fine clothing, this was called shabby and presumptuous. Shen led her over, proudly introducing her. This is Miss Qingrui, exceptionally talented. Su Yao sat in the seat of honor, playing with a jade cup in her hand, her eyes lazily sweeping over Lu Qingrui before finally landing on me, her brow slightly furrowed. Aheng, what kind of protocol is this? A woman with no official title or known background can enter this main hall. The entire venue instantly fell silent. Countless mocking and contemptuous gazes fell upon Lu Qingrui. Shen face paled, and he was about to speak in her defense. I took the initiative to stand up with a panicked expression and beg forgiveness. Your Highness, please calm your anger. My husband is kind-hearted and saw that Miss Lu was all alone with no one to rely on, so he wanted to bring her to see the world. I thought it was just a matter of adding an extra pair of chopsticks, so I didn't think much of it. It was my lack of consideration. These words seemed to be smoothing things over for them, but actually established 3 points. Lu Qingrui is a lonely girl freeloading off others. Shen doesn't know his place and brings people around recklessly. I, the legitimate wife, am magnanimous, and was forced into this by my husband. Su Yao and I were in perfect sync. She sneered coldly, kind-hearted. This palace thinks it is a lack of propriety. Lord Shen, this is the royal villa, not some marketplace where any Tom, Dick, or Harry can enter. Someone, escort this Miss Lu out. Don't disturb everyone's refined mood. Aheng. Lu Qingrui's eyes instantly reddened. She looked toward Shen with an expression like she was about to faint. Shen panicked and instinctively looked at me, hoping I would plead for her again. I picked up my teacup and gently skimmed off the foam, not even lifting my head. Plead for her. Dream on. Several burly matrons stepped forward and unceremoniously grabbed Lu Qingrui to drag her out. Lu Qingrui had never suffered such humiliation. She cried on the spot like pear blossoms in the rain, her hair bun all disheveled. That golden hairpin dropped to the ground with a clatter and was trampled flat by a matron's foot. Shen wanted to chase after her, but was held back firmly by his colleagues. Brother Shen, have you lost your mind? That is the imperial consort. This farce not only completely ruined Lu Qingrui's reputation among the noble ladies' circle in the capital, but also caused Shen to be labeled as favoring concubine over wife and lacking propriety. On the carriage ride back to the estate, Shen face was ashen. Not saying a word, I leaned against the cushion, resting with my eyes closed. This is just the beginning. Shen your official career, your reputation, your beautiful dreams, I will crush them one by one. As for that letter I wrote to my elder brother, it should have reached the border by now. The 8th of March, Black Wind Cliff. That is the burial ground I've chosen for myself. Before then, I still need to take back every last bit of what belongs to me. After that flower viewing banquet, Shen lost all face in front of his colleagues and threw a huge tantrum when he came back. If it were before, I would have definitely humbled myself, serving him tea and water to coax him. But this time, I just listened quietly, and in the end, handed him a banknote. Husband, I know things are difficult for you in the officialdom. And you've been wronged. My eyes reddened slightly, full of heartache for him. This is the last 1,000 taels of silver from my dowry. Take it to grease some palms. Perhaps you can secure a provincial post. Even if it is just a nominal position, our family can get away from all the turmoil in the capital. Seeing the banknote, Shen Mo's rage instantly extinguished, replaced by a greedy gleam. He snatched the banknote and hypocritically grasped my hand. Ah, Heng, you understand me best. Don't worry, when I become successful and prosperous, I will never let you down. He won't let me down. He is taking this money probably to fill the hole he owes from keeping a mistress outside, and by the way, to save up travel expenses for that elopement plan. This 1,000 taels is the last bit of sweetness I am giving him. The purpose, over the next few days, I used the excuse of being unwell and returned the housekeeping authority to my mother-in-law, although that old hag paralyzed in bed couldn't move. As soon as she heard she could hold power, she immediately perked up and ordered the cunning servants around her to get the storehouse keys. She didn't know that the valuable antiques and calligraphy paintings in that storehouse had long been replaced by me with fakes, and those property deeds and shops I had also already quietly sold through my brother's connections, converting them into nationwide negotiable banknotes, which I sewed into my undergarments. What was left for the Shen family was nothing but a glamorous empty shell. Husband, the 8th day of the 3rd month is an auspicious day. I want to go to Fuan Temple to pray for your blessings, asking the Bodhisattva to bless your official career. The night before departure, I dutifully helped Shen Mo straighten his clothes. Shen Mo was immersed in his fantasy of soon getting rid of me, and casually replied, "Go ahead, donate more incense money. Sincerity brings results." He didn't even ask why I was taking all my personal valuables with me. In his eyes, I was nothing more than a pitifully foolish woman who even had to bring his old clothes when going to pray for blessings, just to show how deeply in love we were as husband and wife. Little did he know that was the final preparation I made for this journey of no return. Looking at his hypocritical face in the candlelight, I sneered inwardly. "Shen Mo, your good days are over. The 8th day of the 3rd month, the spring cold was biting. The mountain path to Fuan Temple was rugged and difficult to traverse, especially through the area around Black Wind Cliff, where falling rocks and logs were common. When the carriage reached halfway up the mountain, the surroundings were terrifyingly quiet. The bandits who had long been lying in ambush here, that is, the personal guard sent by my elder brother, let out a whistle and charged out. "Protect the lady." Chu Yun screamed according to plan, and the scene instantly descended into chaos. Sitting in the carriage, I took a deep breath and looked one last time in the direction of the capital that had trapped me for 2 lifetimes. Then I pulled out the gold hairpin from my hair and viciously stabbed it into the horse's rump. The startled horse let out a neigh and frantically charged toward the guardrail at the cliff's edge. The moment before the carriage was about to fall, a strong hand reached in through the carriage window, steadily pulled me out, and quickly retreated using the mountain rocks as cover. Boom! Accompanied by a tremendous crash. That luxurious carriage, along with the horse, plunged into the bottomless cold pond. Before that, I deliberately left an embroidered shoe in the carriage, along with the suicide note I had written long ago. When the news reached the capital, Shen Mo was drinking the nuptial cup with Lu Qinggrui at Tinyu Pavilion. "Master, this is terrible." The servant stumbled in. Madam encountered bandits at Black Wind Cliff and fell off the cliff with the carriage." Clatter. The wine cup in Shen Mo's hand fell to the ground and shattered into pieces. Lu Qinggrui covered her mouth in shock, but a trace of barely concealed wild joy flashed in her eyes. Shen Mo was stunned for a long while, then suddenly stood up. He wasn't grief-stricken, but panicked. "Dead, really dead," he muttered to himself, his face deathly pale. Then what about the money at home? What about mother's medicine? What about Zhao's tuition? I could have stood up and applauded at this scene. Shen Mo's grand master plan was to fake his death, so Yun Heng would be culturally trapped into staying a chaste widow, using her massive dowry to fund his horrible family while he lived it up in the south. Her countermove. She liquidates all her assets, hides the money in her undergarments, and fakes her own death first. The sheer panic of Shen Mo sitting in his love nest, realizing his cash cow has died, and he is now legally and financially trapped with his paralyzed mother and ruined brother, is pure poetry. He tried to lock her in a cage, but she took the keys, took the money, and left him locked inside instead. His original plan was he would fake his death, dump this whole family on me, make me use my dowry to support the entire family, and fulfill his filial duties for him. But now, that sucker died first. Moreover, I encountered bandits, which counts as an accidental violent death, so the authorities would definitely intervene and investigate. Until the case was closed as the husband, not only could he not leave, but he'd also have to cooperate with the investigation, handle the funeral arrangements, and face the wrath of my brother, who commanded troops. His escape through fake death plan was completely ruined. He was firmly trapped in the bottomless pit. That was the Shen family. Mo Lang, this is a good thing. Qingrui, still oblivious to the danger, leaned closer and said in a coquettish voice, "Now that ugly hag is dead, you can openly marry me." Shen Mo suddenly turned around, his eyes sinister, as if he wanted to devour someone. "Marry you? With what?" He slapped Lu Qingrui away with one hand, ignoring how pitifully she cried, and stumbled out in a rush. He had to go confirm whether there was any money left in the storehouse. But I guarantee all that awaits him is a pile of fakes and endless curses from that paralyzed old hag of a mother. The northern wind was fiercer than in the capital, yet also more free. Half a month after leaving the capital, I had already reached the rendezvous point agreed upon with my brother Muchuan. The people here were bold and fierce, different from the gentleness of Jiangyan, yet exuding vigorous vitality. I cut off the hair bun that symbolized a married woman's status, changed into a neat set of men's clothing, and took the alias Xiao Yao. Looking at that spirited young man in the bronze mirror, I found him somewhat unfamiliar, yet also somewhat familiar. This was the Yun Heng from before marriage, the one in fine clothes on a spirited horse who wanted to be a female hero. Higher, I galloped on horseback along the official road when I suddenly saw dust and smoke billowing ahead. A group of bandits was besieging a merchant convoy's carriage, with many guards lying on the ground, clearly about to be overwhelmed. If I were at the Shen household, I would think better to avoid trouble, quickly get away. But now I am Xiao Yao. When you see injustice, draw your sword to help. I leapt up from horseback, drew the soft sword from my waist, and like a startled swan's reflection, went straight for the bandit chief. However, someone was even faster than me. A black shadow swept past like a phantom, a flash of sword light, and the bandit chief's head had already hit the ground. The movement was clean and decisive, without the slightest hesitation. That person wore black robes, with a figure upright as a pine tree, wearing a half-silver mask on his face, revealing only a pair of eyes as deep as cold stars. He sheathed his sword and turned to look at me, a trace of surprise flashing in his eyes. Not bad skills. His voice was low and magnetic. "It is just that your swordplay is a bit rusty. If you'd been off by 3 more inches, you wouldn't have dodged that strike just now." I felt somewhat unconvinced. "Thank you for the rescue, brave warrior. But if you hadn't acted first, I could have taken down this bandit chief too." He chuckled softly and removed his mask, revealing a face so handsome, it was almost flamboyant. Sword-like eyebrows reaching his temples, a high nose bridge, and especially those peach blossom eyes, most captivating when they held that hint of a smile. I am Chen, courtesy name bopping. He cupped his fists. May I ask how to address you, young brother? Chen, sheer booping. That legendary Marquise of Dingyuan with distinguished military achievements who fled from marrying a princess to wander the Jianggu. Also, the devil incarnate, whose name I'd heard countless times in the circles of noble ladies in the capital. I froze for a moment, then broke into a cheerful laugh and cupped my fists in return. I am Xiao Yao. He raised an eyebrow. Free and unfettered. Good name. Meeting is fate. Brother Xiao, if you don't mind, how about we travel together? Drinking the wine of the north alone just isn't the same. Looking at the hand he extended, his palm had calluses from years of gripping a sword. I also reached out my hand and grasped his firmly. Then I'll impose on you, Brother Shi. In this moment, Yunheng died completely. The one alive now was Xiao Yao, about to stir up waves in the Jiangguas. For the chaos in Shenmo's household, it was nothing more than an unfunny play I'd hear about over tea and meals. Even in his dreams, Shenmo never imagined life would turn out like this. Because I died a violent death. And I was the legitimate daughter of the loyal and brave Marquis Manor. The court of judicial review and my elder brother took turns investigating, turning Black Windcliff upside down. Before the case was cleared up, Shenmo was ordered to observe mourning. Not only was his official position suspended, he couldn't even leave the capital. That perfect plan to fake his death and elope to Jiangnan completely went up in smoke. What made him even more desperate was his household. Without my dowry to subsidize them, the Shen family's meager ancestral assets quickly ran dry. Mo Lang, why is this bird's nest all fragments? Back when Yunheng was here, even the servants wouldn't accept this quality. Lu Qingrui sat on the couch, clutching her stomach, her face full of disdain. She had ultimately entered the household after all, but not as the legitimate wife, rather. She was carried in as a concubine under the pretense of bringing good fortune. Shenmo looked at the table full of bills, the veins at his temples throbbing. You should be grateful to have food at all. To get you in here, I've already mortgaged the last 2 shops. Since you are here now, don't put on airs. Mother is bedridden and paralyzed. You should go show some filial piety and empty her chamber pot. Lu Qingru shrieked. I am the daughter of a scholarly family. How can I do such menial work? Didn't you say you'd have the maids do it? Maids, Shenmo sneered coldly. The household hasn't been able to pay monthly wages for ages. The maids have all run off. If you don't do it, who will? You expect me, a grown man, to do it. Just as the two were arguing endlessly, the door was kicked open. 8-year-old Shen Zhao burst in, no longer holding his formerly expensive toys, only gripping a wooden stick. I want braised pork. I want quanjued roast duck. Sister-in-law used to buy them for me every day. Lu Qingrui got a headache just seeing this brat, and couldn't help scolding. Eat, eat. All you know is eating. Your sister-in-law was just throwing money at you, trying to spoil you rotten. Only I truly care about you. Smack. Shen Zhao struck Lu Qingrui's shin with the stick, hurting her so much that tears streamed down her face. You bad woman. You are the one who caused sister-in-law's death. I want sister-in-law back. Shen Zhao cried while rolling all over the ground. Sister-in-law never scolded me. Sister-in-law was the best. At that moment, Shen Mo stood in the messy hall, listening to his mother's wailing from the inner room, because no one was there to turn her over, watching his beloved concubine and younger brother accusing each other over money. He suddenly remembered the past. At times like this, there should have been piping hot meals, a spotlessly clean house, and me gently massaging his temples. Ah Heng, he crouched down in agony holding his head. It turned out that wasn't something to be taken for granted. It was someone carrying the burden forward for him. But this was merely the beginning. Because I wasn't there to keep him in check, Shen Zhao caused big trouble outside, offending the powerful and influential. To make amends, Shen Mo sold off the ancestral home, and the whole family was driven to take shelter in a rundown temple on the outskirts of the city. The once romantic talented scholar had now become a fallen cur that everyone wanted to beat. 3 years later, Muchuan in the northern lands. Although it was bitterly cold here, it was also an important trade hub. The city's largest, leisurely inn was doing booming business. Dressed in red, I sat in a private room on the second floor, calculating this month's accounts. Over these 3 years, I not only opened an inn, but also funded my elder brother's army to improve their horse equipment, becoming the famous goddess of wealth of the northern lands. Boss Xiao, your abacus is clicking so loudly. Why not add me to your calculations too? A teasing voice came through. Shi Qian, Shi Buping, climbed in through the window, carrying 2 jars of aged Nuehong wine, with the wind and snow from beyond the frontier still clinging to his hair. These 3 years, we've been through life and death together. We once raced horses side by side on the grasslands and sat around the fire late into the night discussing the state of the world. He was no longer that frivolous young marquis, but a young general guarding a region. I was no longer that inner courtyard woman who only knew household scheming. I closed the account book and raised an eyebrow at him. General Shi's worth is too high. My small shop can't afford to hire you. Shi Qian walked up to me, put away his playful expression, and pulled out a somewhat worn iron arrowhead from his chest. It was from when he first went to battle and nearly lost his life. It was also his most treasured possession. My worth may be high, but if I marry into your family, this life and fortune will all be part of the dowry. He looked into my eyes, those peach blossom eyes filled with an unprecedented seriousness and deep affection. Xiao Yao, I know you've been hurt and don't want to trust so-called vows anymore. But these 3 years, what kind of person I, Shi Shen, am you know best. I don't ask for your promise of staying together forever. I only ask for a title to let me stand by your side legitimately, to shield you from wind and rain. Is that all right? I looked at that iron arrowhead, my heartbeat skipped a beat. Unlike Shen Mo's love that came with calculation and demands, Shi Qian's love was respect, was standing side by side. He is an eagle. I am a horse. We belong to the same vast world. I took the jar of wine, tilted my head back, and drank a mouthful. The strong liquor burned down my throat, yet warmed my heart. Good. I smiled at him, my eyes no longer clouded. Then you'd better hold tight to your position as the innkeeper's wife. My wedding was set for the 8th day of next month. Me brother was overjoyed and vowed to give me a wedding even grander than before, letting all of the northern lands know that the daughter of the Yun family was marrying the very best of heroes. However, on the eve of the wedding, I saw an unexpected person at a street corner. That man in ragged clothes, fighting with beggars over half a steamed bun. It was actually Shen Mo. Heard he could no longer survive in the capital at all, having been exiled here for offending someone. The man who once prided himself on being high-minded and wanted to elope for true love, the Hanlin Academy editor, now lived worse than a dog. He clearly saw me too. Those murky eyes instantly widened, as if he'd seen a ghost, yet also as if he'd grasped his last lifeline. On the wedding day, red adornments stretched for miles. Just as Shi Qian and I were about to perform our bows, a shrill cry came from outside the main gate. Aheng, aheng, I am your husband. You can't marry someone else. You are the daughter-in-law of the Shen family. I am going to file a complaint with the emperor. The guests erupted in shock. I gently moved aside the round fan covering my face, looking down from above at Shen Mo, who was being blocked outside the door by the guards. He was so thin his face had changed shape, reeking all over. Where was even half a trace of his former elegance? Shi-chan gripped my hand tightly, about to lose his temper, but I stopped him. I walked down the steps one by one, my red dress like fire, but my eyes cold as ice. "Why is this beggar causing a disturbance?" I said indifferently. Shen Mo looked at me, his eyes bursting with greedy light. "Ah, Heng, I knew you weren't dead. If you are not dead, our engagement isn't void. I am your heaven. How can you marry someone else behind my back? Come back with me. As long as you come back with me, I won't hold the past against you. I'll divorce Lu Qingrui and make you the principal smack." My brother couldn't hold back and slapped him across the mouth with the scabbard, knocking out 2 of his teeth. Outrageous. My sister Yun Heng died at Black Wind Cliff 3 years ago, stamped and sealed by the authorities. The one standing here now is Xiao Yao, a merchant woman from the north. You madman. If you dare spout more nonsense, don't blame me for being merciless with my blade. Shen Mo covered his mouth, shouting incoherently. No, she is Yun Heng. Look at her eyes. She still loves me. Love. I couldn't help but laugh, laughing so hard tears were about to come out. Shen Mo, do you even deserve to mention that word? I took 2 steps closer, lowered my voice, and said in a voice only the 2 of us could hear, "Back when you wanted to fake your death and fly away with Lu Qingru, wanting me to stay a living widow and provide for your family. How come you didn't think of me as your wife then? Your paralyzed mother was starved to death by Lu Qingru, wasn't she? Your brother had his legs broken by the gambling den, didn't he? All of this. You chose it yourself. Shen Mo, Yun Heng is indeed dead, killed by your selfishness, greed, and hypocrisy. Fast forward 3 years. Yun Heng has reinvented herself in the north as a wealthy, independent businesswoman named Xiao Yao, and she is about to marry a dashing, respectful General Shi-chan. And who should rock up to the wedding looking like something the cat dragged in? The destitute, exiled Shen Mo, demanding she take him back. The audacity of the man is quite staggering. He genuinely thinks she will still be pining for him. But Yun Heng doesn't scream or cry, looking down at him in her bridal red. She simply states the facts. She holds a mirror to his choices. He chose his bed, and now he must lie in it. Watching him realize that he literally threw away a diamond for a cheap pebble is the ultimate emotional payoff. Shen Mo was struck as if by lightning, his entire body frozen in place, pupils violently contracting. He finally understood that the woman who once held him in the palm of her hand had long been lost by his own hands. And now, this radiant woman, before his eyes, would never spare him another glance. "Simone," Shi-chan stepped forward, wrapping his arm around my waist to assert his claim. "Throw this lunatic out. Don't delay the auspicious hour." He lowered his head and gently adjusted my phoenix coronet. "Wife, let's continue." As the officiant loudly called out, "First bow to heaven and earth," Shen Mo was thrown onto the street by the guards like garbage. Amidst the noisy, festive sounds, no one paid any more attention to that beggar crying bitterly in the snow. I heard later that the beggar froze to death on a snowy night. Before he died, he was still clutching a piece of moldy osmanthus cake in his hand, mumbling, "Ah Heng, I brought you some pastries." And at that time, I was riding my horse side by side with Shi-chan, admiring the splendid rivers and mountains. The past events have finally turned into clouds and smoke. For the rest of my life, there is only freedom and ease. If I had to distill the absolute magic of this story, my darlings, it comes down to 2 beautiful concepts: the trap of martyrdom and a partnership of equals first. This story spectacularly dismantles the trap of martyrdom. For centuries, women have been romanticized for enduring misery. Virtuous, long-suffering wife. Yun Heng realizes that burning yourself to keep a toxic man warm isn't noble. It's a scam. Once she drops the illusion that her worth is tied to her suffering, She literally rides off into the sunset to find her true self. And then it gives us a masterclass in a partnership of equals. Look at the contrast between her two loves. Shenmo viewed her as a utility, a bank account and a nanny. But Chen, he sees her as an equal. He hands her his most prized possession and asks for a place by her side to shield her from the rain. As she so beautifully puts it, he is an eagle, I am a horse. We belong to the same vast world. True love never asks you to clip your wings. It flies alongside you. So, my lovelies, the takeaway is crystal clear. If a man expects you to pull the entire cart while he sits comfortably in the back, unharness yourself and let him roll down the hill. If you relished watching our girl flip the script and secure her own spectacular happy ending, do be an absolute star and hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like if you cheered when she took her money and jumped off that cliff. I want to hear from you in the comments. What is the most satisfying way you've ever watched karma catch up with a toxic ex or a terrible friend? Let's share some delightfully vindicating stories below. Until next time, keep your boundaries firm, your tea hot, and never play the martyr for a man who won't even lift a finger. Ta Ray.